Well, hi everybody, and good Friday morning to meteorologist Travis Klineski here on our way to a great end to the week. Here's a look at our futurecast, which there's not much to show you with precipitation. This is more about looking at those wind barbs and looking at the cold front that's coming through later today. West winds to start around 5 to 10 miles per hour. They will turn more northerly once that front comes through, and they'll pick up a little bit today. It's going to be a little breezy, especially in central and mostly in eastern Nebraska. Eastern Nebraska is where we'll see the strongest winds. You can see that yellow color indicating some stronger winds. That's where you can see winds get up there gusting near 25 to 30 miles per hour. 10 to 20 mile per hour winds around the Tri-Cities, lighter winds out west. That front does not bring much cool air though with it, and barely any cloud cover with it, let alone precipitation. So it's going to be a dry frontal passage, and it will continue to push southward heading into tonight. And because of that, eventually cooler air does kind of work its way in. There's some cooler air eventually. So it will be a little chilly by tomorrow morning as winds lighten up, and they'll turn more out of the northeast by tomorrow morning. Heading through the day tomorrow, we'll feel the effects of that cooler air. Still plenty of sun out there. Winds will start to transition more out of the southeast later in the day, and they could get a little breezy out in western portions of Nebraska. So kind of flipped from today when it comes to where the strongest winds will be. It will be a little cooler for Saturday. It's still going to be a very nice day on Saturday, just a little closer to our average highs in the 60s out there for today. I think low 60s in the northeast, upper 60s to near 70 in the southwest part of the state. And then eventually that front that moves through later today, it stalls out to our south. It's going to come back through as a warm front from the west on Saturday night and Sunday morning, and that could spark off a couple of hit-or-miss showers. It's also going to usher in some warmer air early next week. And in fact, that's kind of when we start to talk about our first chance of storms and severe weather. We won't see stormy weather early on Sunday, but by late Sunday afternoon into Sunday night, thunderstorms could develop out west, and this is our first chance of severe weather. The Storm Prediction Center has highlighted a marginal threat for severe weather in the western parts of the state, and this is going to be kind of our lowest chance of a 4-day stretch there. Sunday through Wednesday, we're going to be watching a 4-day stretch there. Again, already 3 days out, a marginal threat. Now, the Storm Prediction Center does also throw out threats, risks areas, I guess, day 4 through 8, but they don't put these marginal, slight, enhanced risk, anything like that out until you get to 3 days out or closer. So they don't have anything like that out yet, but they do highlight central Nebraska on Monday. And I think Monday afternoon to Monday night, Monday evening, there is going to be at least an isolated chance of severe storms if the cap can be broken. And if they develop, I think they'll probably be on an isolated basis, but something certainly worth watching. For many of us, it may be our best chance of severe weather. Tuesday, that threat will shift towards the southeastern parts of the viewing area as a front comes through. That front will actually lift back into the area as a warm front on Wednesday. Where exactly that comes in or lines up will be a big factor in who has the best chance of severe weather. But Wednesday has the potential to be a bigger severe weather day and last a little bit longer, especially areas near and south and southeast of the Tri-Cities with a warm front in the area. So that's also going to be certainly a day worth watching in north central Kansas, parts of south central, and especially southeast portions of Nebraska. So kind of long-winded there. I'll talk about that in your 7-day forecast a little bit more in a bit. But today is all quiet. Sunny skies, upper 60s, low to mid 70s up north. Everybody's going to see that west wind turn more northerly with time. A little breezy up north today, especially up towards the Albion area. Out west, not quite as much wind, but there will be that wind direction shift. Looking at mid 70s this afternoon, mid 70s in the south. Could possibly sneak in upper 70s. Looking really good for today as we see that wind shift a little breezy this afternoon. The strongest winds out east today, especially this afternoon. We'll also be looking at mid 70s for temperatures later on today. So tomorrow will be cooler behind that front. We feel the cooler air. Still a very nice day on Saturday. I wouldn't be complaining about 66 at all. And then warm windy conditions on Sunday. A stronger south wind starting to bring in that warmth and a little more moisture into the area. That early chance of rain, and then late in the day out west and then into the evening hours of Sunday evening, a chance of some showers and thunderstorms. That chance then goes away early on Monday, and much of the day Monday will actually be fairly quiet. It's going to be a warm, windy day, probably the warmest day for most of us. And by late in the afternoon, probably after 5 o'clock, showers and thunderstorms could develop on an isolated basis. And this has the threat of some severe weather. There's going to be some decent moisture in the area, some spin in the atmosphere. So we'll watch that severe weather threat closely, especially in the central part of the state. Tuesday, Most of us will stay dry, more than likely. That front's pushing into the southeast part of the state, so that's your better chance of rain and thunderstorms to the southeast. I threw in a slight chance of an evening rain shower in the Tri-Cities area, and it will start to cool down. Now, Wednesday, that front's to our south, but will start to move back north as a warm front. I think it'll be still south of the Tri-Cities, which is why I still only have us in the lower 60s on Wednesday. But if it advances any farther north, we could see a dramatic climb in temperature. There's going to be a large range in temperatures in the area, and as you get to that warm sector or very close to that warm front, showers, thunderstorms are going to develop, and depending on how things play out early in the day, we could see some quite a bit of severe weather Wednesday afternoon into Wednesday evening south of Interstate 80 especially, and in the central and eastern parts of the states of Nebraska and Kansas. It looks like the biggest threat will be down into Kansas and parts of Oklahoma, but that warm front is certainly something worth watching on Wednesday as well. So we'll get into that as we get a little bit closer and we get a little better feel of how that can play out. Thursday, no severe weather threat as I think the cool air starts to win out. We still could see some lingering showers in the morning of Thursday. It looks like beyond this forecast, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, we'll start to warm things back up. We'll keep things mostly dry. Could see a pretty nice weekend heading into that first weekend of May. So there you go. There is your forecast. Like I said, a long-winded forecast. There's a lot of information there. As we get into next week, we'll start to give you more details on that severe weather threat. But until next time, which will be next Monday from me, I'm meteorologist Travis Klineski. Hope you all do have an enjoyable weekend, and God bless.